Okay, so we're going to move on to the third question, which has to do with immigration reform, which is obviously a key issue right now in light of the new law passed in the state of Arizona, which is the most stringent anti-immigrant law in the country in the past several decades that we've seen. It's against undocumented workers. And so I want to ask what the panelists think about this bill, and how do you think the immigration system should be reformed? Are you against the Arizona law, or do you support it? And what is your overall solution? So we're going to start with Keli for 4 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to make a lot of people angry, but I totally support the bill. And let me give you a little. Let me give you a little context. Let me give you a little context. I am Hispanic. Okay. My grandfather's name was Jesus Torres Armijo. My grandmother was Filomena Abeta, and I come from a Hispanic background. I have a very close tie to that community down in New Mexico with my family. This is not a race issue. This is about making sure, and I would even say if we ended up going to something like single payer or some sort of more socialist policies, in order to afford them, we need to make sure that we are keeping track of who's coming in and how many people are coming in here. Okay? If you want an open borders, then you can't have any entitlements. If you want entitlements, you really need to make sure your border is secure and you widen the gates of legal immigration. Okay?
Legal.
Yes.
Legal.
Well, one thing I'd like to clarify, because conservatives get accused of being racist all the time, believe me. And it's extraordinarily hurtful, especially coming from someone who is a Latina. And I know I don't look it, but please don't judge me by the color of my skin. Okay? We believe in legal immigration. This is a nation of immigrants. And immigrants bring so many good things to this nation, and they have built this nation. And all we are asking for is that it's done legally. Now, one of the problems with that is that it's thousands of pages long. Again, over-regulation and rules that it takes them 10 years and thousands of dollars to come over here. It incentivizes walking across the border. I mean, why wouldn't you? Or coming over here on a visa and then overstaying your visa. Why wouldn't you? Of course you would, especially when you're coming from a place that has horrendous safety or poverty. Of course you would come here and you would do it illegally, rather than take the time and the money to do it legally. So one of the solutions is to put more resources towards legal immigration and really open it up and allow people to come in and to be here legally and to work and to pay into the system and to not have to sneak around and be scared. As far as the law goes, first of all it does is reinforce existing federal law. So if you have a problem with that, then you should take that up with the federal law, first of all. Second of all, I'd like to read parts of the law, because I don't know if you have actually read the law, but I have. So I'd just like to read a couple of parts. One, it says, for any lawful stop, detention, or arrest made by a law enforcement official or a law enforcement agency of this state, or a law enforcement official or a law enforcement agency of a county, city, town, or other political subdivision of this state, in the enforcement of any other law or ordinance of a county, city, or town, or this state, where reasonable suspicion exists that the person is an alien and is unlawfully present in the United States, a reasonable attempt shall be made, when practicable, to determine the immigration status of the person. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead to this part. A law enforcement official or agency of this state, or a county, city, town, or other political subdivision of this state may not consider race, color, or national origin in implementing the requirements of this subsection. Okay? Now, yeah, I know you're saying human bias and human error. That can already happen. But now it is written in law that if you violate that, there are provisions in here for the person to come after you. Before, they could have done this anyways, and now it is written into this law that if you do that, you will be in big, big trouble. All we are trying to do is secure the border. Have you lived in a border town? I was born in El Paso, Texas. Have you ever lived in a border town? Do you know how dangerous it is for the people that live there? It is awful. I mean, we used to get bricks through our window all the time. There's kidnappings. I mean, it's an awful place to live. All we want to do, secure those borders and allow people to come in here legally. We want them here. Bring us your huddled, tired, poor masses. We want you in here. We just want you in here legally.
Okay, 4 minutes for Ramy Khalil.
Okay. I mean, that sounds nice that you're saying you want the immigrants here, you just want them legally. But I think if you look at the reality of the law, there's a number of real problems with it. Number one is it makes it so that if the police can stop and check people and demand that they show them their birth certificate to prove that they have citizenship status, and if you're against big government intrusion on people's freedoms, I think that is one of the biggest. I think people should be free to walk around their communities, go shopping, pick up their kids from childcare without the police stopping them and demanding their birth certificate. Who walks around with their birth certificate? So I think that's a huge intrusion of government into individuals' freedoms. The other thing is, I do think the other problem with the whole Arizona law is that it ramps up anti-immigrant sentiment and policies against immigrants, and all the points you were making about securing our borders also ramps up border security against the immigrants. And I think that whole process works against the immigrants. You're saying you're fine with them coming here as long as they're legal, but a lot of these people are going to come here, no matter. I think, as you were just saying, like if they're starving in their countries, they're going to be forced to come up here. And this new bill ramps up border security against them, and there's going to be more killings, more deaths. There's going to be more deportations and families divided and broken up, and none of that is useful. I mean, I think what we need to do to address the immigration situation, we need to look at the root cause of the problem. And I think what causes immigration in the first place is a global economy that's very unequal. The United States has been meddling and interfering. The U.S. government, U.S. corporations have worked very hard for decades to arrange the situation where they can extract minerals and resources from Latin America and other countries. Yeah. And they prop up dictatorships like Pinochet's dictatorship in Chile in the 70s, and all sorts of other dictators in Latin America. They're also, if you look at the immigration charts, that the immigration really spiked after the passage of the North American Free Trade Agreement in 1994. In 1994, Bill Clinton pushed through NAFTA with the Republican Congress, and that's supposedly a free trade agreement, which means that the government shouldn't be intervening in the economy, right? But actually, it arranged it so that the U.S. government was giving subsidies to the corn companies in the United States. The U.S. corn companies are now getting these subsidies from the U.S. government. They flooded Mexico's market with their cheap corn, their cheap subsidized corn, and a lot of these poor farmers, corn farmers in Mexico, couldn't compete with these giant, subsidized agribusinesses. So they were forced to move up here. And how can you blame someone like that? You know, it's not like they want to come up here. They don't want to leave their families, leave their language, leave their culture, leave everything they know, and go somewhere where they get the worst jobs, where they're doing the hardest jobs that no one else wants to do. And I think the Arizona bill just blames people who shouldn't be blamed. These people are not criminals; they're workers. They're just trying to put food on their table for their families. And I think that the Tea Party support for this bill and opposition to immigrants just adds to a racist atmosphere that contributes to their negative treatment. And I think they deserve equal rights. If they're working, if they're paying taxes like the rest of us, then they deserve the same equal rights and the benefits as the rest of us.